Greetings, fellow Grampuses. I'm Chucklenuts Crustybutts, famed explorer and legendary Bugsnax catcher, and this is Snaktooth Island. I've been living on Snaktooth Island for a couple of weeks now, and during that time I've had many strange, yet always tasty encounters with the island's local wildlife, the Bugsnax. In this here video diary of my island exploits, I'll be telling you about the 7 things I liked about Bugsnax and 1 thing that I didn't. So settle down, grab yourselves a bunger and maybe a frieder or 2, and let's get this show on the road. Number 1, catching the Bugsnax. Nyah.
The main thing you'll be doing during your time on Snaktooth Island is, of course, catching Bugsnax. Now, Bugsnax, if you hadn't already guessed, are bugs that are also snacks. Clever, eh? So you've got simple things like the shishka bug and ant-like kebab, or the crapple, a crab made out of apples, through to more dangerous ice and fire type Bugsnax like the buffelocust, which is literally a flame grilled chicken wing, or the ultra aggressive bopsicle, which is a pair of ice pops that will charge at you and freeze you as it knocks you back out of its path. There are 100 of these tasty yet troublesome treats to find and catch, and they're spread across 9 differently themed areas of the island, each with its own unique Bugsnax to find. Catching these Bugsnax is, of course, the main crux of the game. Think of it like Pokemon, or maybe even Viva Pinata, but instead of battling or breeding the Bugsnax, these critters have only one purpose: to be fed to the Muppet-like Grumpuses who have settled on Snaktooth Island. But more on them later. Catching Bugsnax in the first few areas is pretty simple. At the very start of the game, you're given a snack scope and a snack trap, and by using the snack scope, you can scan your prey, work out its movement path, and then place a snack trap onto that path while the Bugsnax cowers in a bush. Then just retreat to a safe distance, and when the Bugsnax is in the catchment area, all you need to do is trigger the trap to trap the treat.
Nice! Pick it up before it escapes.
Things soon start getting a little more complicated as you enter new areas though, and you'll quickly discover Bugsnax that have unique needs and wants that need to be met before you can catch them. Some Bugsnax may be lured out from hiding by throwing certain condiments like chocolate sauce at the traps, whilst others need to be knocked out using an explosive tripwire called the trip shot. Sometimes you'll even need to use Bugsnax against Bugsnax in order to catch them, which can be both dangerous and highly amusing. But it's the working out of these puzzles and the slow filling in of the blanks in your journal that's easily the most satisfying part of the game. Thankfully, the more Grumpuses you find and talk to, the bigger your Bugsnax hunting arsenal will become, and these new tools will bring you fresh and often rather amusing ways to capture some of the more elusive snacks. There's even a day-night cycle to the world, meaning that certain Bugsnax will only appear at certain points during the day. So if you enjoy the thrill of the hunt, there should be plenty here to keep you busy in the game's 10 to 12 hour runtime.
Number 2, the body horror.
Awesome!
There's no beating about the bush here. Bugsnax is weird. Its premise is weird, its visuals are weird, and its characters are weird. But the weirdest thing of all is the game's snackification mechanic, which really can only be described as body horror. The main motivation for the game's human-like characters, the Grumpuses, is the consumption of Bugsnax. That in itself isn't super weird because they look quite tasty, but once the act of eating has been completed, you're then able to change a part of the Grumpus's body to reflect the snack they've just eaten. And when I say you're able to, I mean you're forced to, which leads to the creation of monstrosities such as this.
Yum, yum, yum. Unbelievable.
Now, I know for a fact that things like this will freak a lot of people out. My fellow Grumpuses, Aoife Beefheart and Zoe Delicounter Light, refuse to touch this game because it just looks so disturbing. But me, I kind of love it. I love seeing what each Bugsnax does to each Grumpus body part. I love to see them wander around with weird cake arms or gherkin noses, and there's a huge amount of satisfaction to be gained by feeding a Grumpus a rare and hard-won Bugsnax. It's odd, it's eccentric, it's unique, and it's also a little unsettling. So, yeah, weird is a perfectly good word to sum it all up.
Nice work, pal. Let's go home and we'll count up the spoils.
Number 3, the writing.
I didn't come to this island to be free or to live off the land. I'm here because I couldn't make it over there. Deep down, I'm a failure.
At its heart, Bugsnax is actually a narrative game, and it's one that, in my opinion at least, is wonderfully written. Sure, the Grumpuses may look like malevolent Muppets at times, especially once they've undergone extreme snackification, but underneath their brightly coloured fur and lollipop-shaped limbs lies a set of very distinct personalities, each one with specific needs, wants and worries. Grown-up topics like depression, failure, unrequited love, trust issues, greed and more are covered during the story, and it's an incredibly inclusive game in terms of the types of relationships and characters it features. Going into each Grumpus's motivations would be severely spoilerific, so I won't do that, but I will say that there is a lot of heart and compassion lying behind the freaky facade of these fruit-faced figures, so it's well worth facing your fears and giving the game a go if you like incredibly well-rounded characters. Even if, like Aoife and Zoe, you do feel a little put off by the visual style.
If nobody else believes in me, I gotta believe in myself.
Number 4, well, it's gotta be the voice acting, doesn't it?
Hey, Wimbus. How's the farm?
You're still alive? Thought you'd have starved to death by now.
With great writing comes great responsibility. Responsibility for nailing the voice acting so that all those wonderful lines are delivered to their best ability. And thankfully, Bugsnax absolutely nails it. There's a few characters who, by design, are meant to grate on you a bit, I think, but each and every one of them is perfectly voiced, and this just breathes even more life into the characters.
We can't just eat ketchup.
Well, it's better than nothing. You want us to die out here?
The best voices are reserved for the Bugsnax themselves, though. Each Bugsnax can speak its own name, Pokemon style, and some of the readings of these voices are absolutely hilarious. Big shout out to my favourite Bugsnax of all, the Scoopy Banoopy, by the way. I literally had tears of laughter in my eyes when I first got chased by one of these. Its voice is just amazing.
Scoopy Banoopy, Scoopy Banoopy. Scoop, 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 scoop. Scoop, scoop, Scoopy Banoopy, Scoopy Banoopy.
Number 5, the soundtrack.
Just a quick point here, but the soundtrack for this game is really nice too. It's super chilled out and it has a bit of N64 era Rare magic to it, meaning that the tunes are really catchy and that they'll often get stuck in your head, but that they're seldom, if ever, annoying.
Number 6, the boss fights. Put 'em up, put 'em up.
This is another point that I don't want to go into too much detail about for fear of spoilers, but I do have to mention the boss fights in Bugsnax, which, just like the rest of the game, are really imaginative and full of humour. Basically, there are some giant Bugsnax out there which you're asked to catch, and the method of doing so differs wildly between each one. One consistent thing about them, though, is how fiendish the boss-specific solutions can be. I was stuck on a couple of these boss fights for a while, and it led to some proper moments of head-scratching, but once the solutions had clicked, these bosses were really fun to beat.
All right, you big bug! Here comes the Chandlo Slam!
Number 7. You can pet the Bugsnax. Oh, yes you can.
Now, I've saved the best till last for this final plus point because I can confirm that it is 100% possible to pet all the Bugsnax. You've got to catch them first, of course, and then donate them to GOBBLE's farm, but once you've done that, you can pop by whenever you want and give those cheeky little Bugsnax a pat on the head. You can't hear it in this gameplay, by the way, but whenever you do this, the Bugsnax's voice will play out over the speaker that's built into your PlayStation controller, which is a really nice touch. Right, now all I need to do is find a Scoopy Banoopy for this farm, and I'll be set for life.
Scoop, scoop.
Number 8. The controls.
And finally, onto my only real minus point with this game, and it's one that, I suspect, is going to vary from player to player, but for me, the controls were an ever-present source of frustration. I'm not talking about jumping and moving specifically, that's fine, if a little sluggish maybe, but no, I'm talking more about the precision with which you aim and place your tools, which always seems to be a bit more clumsy than you'd like, none more so than during the more action-packed moments. One of the biggest culprits is the trip shot, which can be a real pain in the butternut squash to place down in a hurry, and the constant need to switch between items using an unwieldy item wheel during the more complicated hunts often left my fish fingers in a twist. The unpredictable way in which my traps behaved when I tried to place or activate them often caused my well-laid plans to fall into utter chaos, particularly during hunts that involved flammable Bugsnax, which would set either me or my traps, or both of us at the same time, alight. I suspect some of this resulting chaos is by design, a way to make a rather simple game that little bit more challenging, but it often feels unfair, especially before I'd gotten used to the fiddliness of catching certain snacks at least. This is nothing that ruins the game as a whole, mind, but you should expect to encounter a fair few moments of intense irritation while you're learning the ropes and working out the best way to snag a snacks.
And that, my fellow Grumpuses, is that. It's time for me to head back to Snacksburg now, so I can gobble up a few more Bugsnax. I've got an appendage down here that's just begging to be turned into a weenie worm. If you enjoyed this look at Bugsnax, do give this video a like, do subscribe to Eurogamer for daily videos about video games, and why not check out some of our other list videos that are on screen and clickable right now. Goodbye and good snacksings. Kinda bugs and kinda snack, try to catch 'em in a trap. Feed somebody and you'll see we are whatever we eat. Find 'em hiding in the sand, tearing up a ketchup patch. Come to Snaktooth